Good evening. I'm Artie Minson, Regis class of 1988 and chair of tonight's Centennial Gala Committee. Before we begin, I'd like to say a special welcome to some of the guests we have with us this evening. In addition to Father Cicero, we are joined by two Jesuits who provided incredible leadership during their time as president of Regis High School. Father Kenneth Gavin, class of 1962, and Father Thomas McLean. I've been asked a few times tonight how I wound up being the dinner chair of tonight's event. I guess it all goes back to a message I received at my office about 18 months ago from Jim Buggy, Regis's longtime head of development. Jim said he was calling, at my mother's suggestion, to see if he and Father Judge could get on my calendar for lunch to discuss the Centennial Gala. Knowing that my mother, who is a trustee on the Regis board, was behind this, and using all the deductive reasoning I learned at Regis, I came to one conclusion. This was going to be a very expensive lunch. All joking aside, I'm thrilled to be the dinner chair for tonight's event. No other high school alumni in the country are as loyal as Regians, as exemplified by the fact that we have 600 Regians in attendance tonight. Including representation from every Regis class from 1949 through this year's freshman class of 2018. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge one alumnus in particular who is with us this evening, Ovid Di Fiore, who at 96 years of age is the oldest Regian in the room tonight. You may have stood too soon until I give you a little bit more background on Ovid. He enrolled in Regis in the fall of 1931, and he commuted from Fort Lee, New Jersey, which is difficult enough today, but let me remind you of the fact that the GW Bridge had not been opened in the fall of 1931. At Regis, Ovid participated on the chess team, and he began to develop his love of photography. This love of photography continued during his service in World War II, where he spent 4 years in the Pacific Theater, which included a number of assignments working directly with General MacArthur, including his work as an espionage photographer. Several of his war photos are historically significant, and they are displayed at the National Archives and at the Douglas MacArthur Museum in Norfolk, Virginia. All of Ovid's wartime experiences began the foundation of a book he wrote at 90 years of age entitled Melbourne to Manila. Ovid is seated tonight at table 52, so Ovid, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you to please stand. When you're planning an event like this, it is all about the team. And I was fortunate to have incredible support from Father Judge, the Regis Development Office, as well as the other members of the Gala Committee. You put 10 Regians in a room and we can accomplish a lot of things, but planning a good party is not tops on the list. Time and again, the team filtered our ideas into a cohesive program, so I would just like to publicly thank them for all the help they provided on tonight's event. We received so many gifts from attending Regis. We had doors open to opportunities we never could have imagined. We made lifelong friends. We became experts in navigating the New York City subway system. But perhaps the greatest gift we received was from the faculty, who taught us more than Latin, calculus, or physics. In my case, particularly physics. From the faculty, during perhaps our most formative years, we learned incredible life lessons, such as the importance of trying to live our lives according to the Regis motto of being men for others. We don't always get this right, but thanks to them, we're still trying. And so I would like to ask all the current and former faculty and staff members in attendance to please stand. As I look around the room this evening, I notice another common characteristic of the Regis alumni fraternity, and that seems to be our common ability to marry up. This is particularly surprising given the fact that many of us were not necessarily the smooth men you see before you tonight. In fact, while some of you may find this shocking, many of us might have been described as slightly socially awkward during our Regis days. My marrying up story even involves Regis. One night during my junior year at Georgetown, my wife Teresa and her roommates heard that there was a party where a bunch of the Regis guys lived. Shockingly, she was eager to attend. What I heard later was that there was some cute guy on campus who wore a Regis sweatshirt, and she was really keen on meeting him. Needless to say, I was not the cute guy in the Regis sweatshirt. Anyway, all those prayers over the years to St. John Francis Regis paid off. As Teresa came to the party, we got talking, and as the rest, they say, is history. My Regis luck was then passed on to one of my best friends at Regis, Mike Coyne, who wound up marrying Teresa's college roommate, Kelly. I'm thrilled that Mike and Kelly flew in from Chicago to be with us tonight and are celebrating with so many of our Regis classmates. So let me extend a warm welcome tonight to all of the wives, the girlfriends, parents, siblings, and other friends of Regis, and apologies in advance for the number of times you will hear the alma mater tonight. In closing, I'd like to thank all of you for your incredible support of tonight's event. You made being the dinner chair an enjoyable and memorable experience, and together we raised over $2.25 million for Regis. Dinner will be served shortly, but first we'd like to offer 3 toasts to begin the evening. One of the things I enjoyed most about being the dinner chair was the opportunity to work closely with Father Judge, or as he now lets me call him, Phil. Phil, in addition to being a world-class administrator, is also a Regian, class of 1980, and I'm also happy to say, my friend. So with a toast to the foundress of Regis, please welcome back to the stage the president of Regis, Father Phil Judge, class of 1980.